Some houses shine like gold on the outside but hide storms inside. This is one of those houses. In this story, you will meet Naomi, a woman with quiet strength who walks into a place feared by many, ruled by a beautiful but cruel madam. You will see pride and pain, secrets and surprises, and how one person's patience can change an entire house. This is what all ladies should learn from. Once upon a time in the city of Lagos, there lived a woman called Naomi. She was dark-skinned, calm like a quiet river, and her eyes carried the weight of someone who had seen too much but refused to break. Naomi had a small nylon bag and one big reason for leaving her small rented room to take this new job. Her little daughter Deborah was sick and needed heart surgery. The house Naomi was going to work in stood like a palace on Bishop Adame Drive. People said the gates alone cost more than some people's entire homes. But there were darker whispers too. No maid lasted there. 9 had left in 6 months, some with tears on their faces, one running barefoot in the rain. The reason was Madame Rose. Madame Rose was beautiful in the kind of way that made people stop and stare, but her beauty was like a sharp knife. Bright, dangerous, and capable of cutting deep. She wore silk dresses that flowed like water and heels that clicked like a warning. Her words were said to be sharper than glass, and she was known to use them like weapons. Naomi had heard all this, but she needed the job. When she arrived, the security man opened the glittering silver gates. Inside, the mansion looked like something from a movie. The walls were smooth cream marble. Chandeliers sparkled like frozen rain. The air smelled faintly of expensive perfume and something Naomi couldn't name. Something cold. Madame Rose appeared at the top of the stairs, her hand resting lightly on the railing. Her eyes scanned Naomi from head to toe as if weighing her soul. "So you are the new maid," she said, her voice smooth but carrying an invisible sting. "Yes, ma," Naomi replied quietly. From that moment the tests began. The first day, Naomi was told to clean the grand dining room twice. The first time it was fine. The second time, she found crumbs and spills that had not been there before. She cleaned without complaint. The second day, she was blamed for misplacing a silk scarf worth more than her rent. Later, she found it folded neatly under a vase in the living room, placed there by someone else. Still she said nothing. By the end of the week, other staff whispered to her during breaks. "She is watching you," one cook murmured. "She likes to see who will crack first." "She made me wash the same bedsheets 4 times, another said. "I left after 2 weeks." But Naomi didn't crack. She worked in silence, moving like the steady ticking of a clock. The more she stayed silent, the more it seemed to bother Madame Rose. Naomi's calmness was like a mirror the madam didn't like looking into. Her insults became sharper. She would criticize Naomi's uniform, her hair, even the way she walked. One rainy evening, Madame Rose came into the kitchen while Naomi was washing dishes. She placed her coffee cup on the counter and said, "You think your quietness makes you better than the rest? Don't test me." Naomi only replied, "Would you like me to make you fresh coffee, Ma?" That answer made Rose stare for a long moment before walking away without replying. Days passed. The pattern continued. Petty humiliations, quiet endurance. Yet slowly something began to shift. Naomi noticed that the gardener would smile at her now. The driver would bring her an orange during breaks. Even the cook, who had been cold at first, began to talk more. The mansion's air, once stiff and fearful, was starting to change, but not enough for anyone to feel safe. The real storm was still ahead. One morning, as Naomi polished the silver tray in the dining room, she heard footsteps. She turned and saw Madame Rose, but this time the woman looked different. Her hair was loose, her face bare of makeup, and her robe hung loosely from her shoulders. For the first time she looked human. Without her usual sharpness, Rose stood by the window, staring out at the rain. "You know," she said quietly, "people think I am cruel because I enjoy it. But they don't understand what it is to be hurt first." Naomi didn't move. She didn't know if this was another test. She only said softly, "Hurt makes people do strange things." Rose's lips trembled, but she quickly looked away. "Go back to work," she said and left. That small moment planted a seed that neither woman fully understood yet. And in the weeks to come, it would grow into something that would change the mansion forever. The mansion on Bishop Adame Drive might have looked peaceful from outside, but inside, Madame Rose was sharpening her storms. After that strange rainy morning when Naomi saw a softer side of her, Rose seemed to pull her mask back on tighter. It was as if showing weakness had scared her. Now the tests became harsher. One day, Naomi was called into the living room. On the glass coffee table lay a shattered crystal vase. Madame Rose stood nearby with her arms folded, her long red nails tapping her arm. "You broke it," she said flatly. Naomi looked at the pieces. She had not even been in the room that morning. "I didn't, Ma," she said softly. Rose's eyes narrowed. "Are you calling me a liar?" "No, Ma. I am only saying I didn't touch it." "Clean it up," Rose ordered. "And if I ever hear you deny again, I will send you packing." Naomi swept up the shards without another word. Another time, she woke up to find her maid's uniform missing. She searched her small room twice before a junior staff quietly told her, "Check the laundry basket near the wine cellar." It was there, stuffed under a pile of towels, smelling faintly of expensive perfume. The other workers were watching her closely now. They expected her to quit any day. But Naomi didn't. She came every morning, did her work, kept her head down. The only person who seemed to notice her quiet strength was Mr. Femi Richards, Rose's husband. He was a tall man with kind eyes but the distracted air of someone too busy to see the small wars happening in his own home. One afternoon, while Naomi was setting the table for dinner, he said, "You are the only maid who has lasted this long. How do you do it?" Naomi smiled faintly. "I came here to work for my daughter's life, sir. I can't waste energy on fighting." He nodded, but Naomi noticed the way his eyes lingered on her, as if trying to understand more. Then came the day that changed everything. It was early morning, and the mansion was unusually quiet. Naomi was in the upstairs hallway dusting the frames when she heard a soft sound, a muffled sob. She followed it to the master bedroom. The door was half open. Inside, Madame Rose sat on the floor near the bed, her back against the wall, her knees pulled up to her chest. Her silk robe was wrinkled, her hair uncombed, and her eyes red from crying. Naomi froze. This was the woman who had made her life a quiet battlefield, the woman who had humiliated her over and over. Rose didn't look up. "Do you know what it feels like," she said hoarsely, "to give your whole life to someone and still feel like you're not enough?" Naomi stepped inside slowly. "I think I do, Ma." Rose laughed bitterly. "When I was your age, I was a maid too. I worked in a house where they treated me like dirt. I told myself I would never be weak again. And I kept that promise. Too well, maybe." Naomi stayed silent. After a long pause, Rose wiped her eyes and said, "Go to the kitchen. Make me tea. No sugar." It seemed like nothing, but Naomi knew something had shifted. In the days that followed, the storms lost some of their sharpness. There were still criticisms, still small tests, but they came less often. One afternoon, Rose even asked Naomi if she had eaten lunch. Another day, she told the driver to drop Naomi near her daughter's hospital instead of making her take 2 buses. The other staff whispered in surprise. "What did you do to her?" the cook asked. Naomi only shrugged. Still, Naomi kept her guard up. She knew trust was not built in a day. But she also knew that sometimes, even the hardest walls can crack if you stand before them long enough without moving. What Naomi didn't know was that the biggest test, and the biggest chance, was coming soon, wrapped in an unexpected invitation. The invitation came on a Wednesday afternoon. Naomi had just finished arranging fresh flowers in the hallway when Madame Rose appeared, holding a white envelope. "There's a women's luncheon this Saturday," Rose said, handing it to her. "You're coming with me." Naomi blinked. "Me, Ma?" "Yes. Don't make me repeat myself. Wear something nice. Not your uniform." It was the first time Rose had ever spoken to her without a trace of sarcasm. On the day of the luncheon, Rose surprised Naomi again. She handed her a soft blue gown and a matching scarf. "Wear this," she said simply. The venue was a grand hall filled with powerful women. Business owners, politicians' wives, charity leaders. Naomi stayed quietly by Rose's side, unsure why she was there. Then, during the event, Rose introduced her to a kind-looking woman named Mrs. Oladipo. "She runs the Children's Heart Foundation," Rose said, resting a hand on Naomi's shoulder. "Tell her about your daughter." Naomi hesitated, but Rose's eyes urged her on. She explained Deborah's heart condition and how she had been working to save for the surgery. Mrs. Oladipo listened closely, then smiled. "We will cover the full cost. Bring me the hospital details tomorrow." Naomi's eyes filled with tears. She turned to Rose, who only said, "Don't thank me. Just take care of your daughter." The surgery date was set quickly. For the first time in months, Naomi allowed herself to hope without fear. The day Deborah was discharged, the entire mansion celebrated. The cook made jollof rice and fried chicken, the gardener brought fresh flowers, and even the driver joined in the laughter. Rose came forward quietly and handed Deborah a small gold bracelet. "For your new heart," she said. It seemed like a happy ending, almost too perfect. But life is not a movie. 2 weeks later, Naomi overheard 2 visitors in the sitting room whispering about Rose. They spoke of affairs, of hidden bank accounts, of trust broken between her and Mr. Femi. Naomi realized that the cracks in Rose's heart had never fully healed. They had only been covered for a while. And though the mansion now felt warmer, Naomi knew that mistrust still lived here, waiting like a shadow in the corner. Still, she had changed something. She had brought light into a dark house, even if it was only for a season. And for that she was at peace. Patience is stronger than anger. When someone treats you badly, you can choose not to become like them. Kindness does not mean weakness. It means strength that stays calm even in storms. And sometimes, the quiet way you live can change hearts more than shouting ever will.